The only way people are going to stop walking over you is if you stop giving them the shoes. Hey, what's up? It's Emily and welcome back to my channel. If you don't know me, consider me your internet big sister who just so happens to be a recruiter, which means you get 2 videos a week, one to help you level up your career and one to help you level up your life. Whether you're someone who hates conflict, feels uncomfortable standing up for yourselves, or frankly doesn't know how to set a boundary with friends, with family, or at work, this is the video for you. I'm a self-proclaimed boundary queen, not because I was born this way, but because unfortunate life circumstances made me grow a very thick skin and forced me to be able to assert what I will and will not tolerate both at work and in my personal life. Having a boundary is one of the best ways you can honor and respect yourself, as well as set yourself up for success. Effectively, boundaries are you saying to the world or people around you that you don't have permission to act out of line, and if you do, there will be consequences. Fight to the death. You first need to accept that other people might not understand or agree with that boundary you're setting, and that ultimately is none of your business and not your problem. Boundaries are designed to keep you safe and keep your life peaceful. It's not your responsibility to be protecting other people's feelings. And frankly, if they gave a shit about you, they would respect and want you to set up those boundaries. When you are 150 years old, on your deathbed, and your life flashes before your eyes, I guarantee you're not going to wish you lived it more for other people. You're going to wish you lived it more for yourself. When I set a boundary, I first specifically think about the group or the person that this is going to impact. I have boundaries set up at work in that I don't allow people to talk to me crazy. I don't let people email me while I'm out of office, and there are specific things I do in response to that I will get into. I also have boundaries set up with friends, with partners, to say I'm not comfortable when you do or say this. You also need to very clearly define what your boundary is, and I'll give you a real personal example that I have. I have a zero tolerance for yelling or raising your voice, even in difficult conversations, particularly with boyfriends. And I hold myself to that as well. But I one time dated a guy where we got into an argument and he raised his voice, not in a malicious way, that's just how he communicated, and it made me really uncomfortable. So in that moment, I said, I've had previous experiences where yelling makes me extremely uncomfortable and uneasy. I need you to adjust your tone when you talk to me or I can't continue this conversation. And he did. He was super respectful. It was a non-issue. And the best way to set a boundary is in the moment, although that's not always possible. But ideally, if someone is in the middle of making you feel uncomfortable, I am so much more anxious to do this, but it is the easiest thing to do, to say, can I stop you right there? When you do this, it makes me feel like this. So can we change the behavior to do XYZ? Otherwise, I'm going to have to step away. And if that's not something you're comfortable with, or if it does take you a little bit of time to process, what you're feeling, how you want to navigate it, it's okay to text or call that person and say, I was thinking about this evening, and insert the exact same thing. What's really important is that you don't set boundaries that you're not willing to enforce. Otherwise, you're basically telling people that they have hurt you and that you're going to keep giving them the power to hurt you because you're not going to do anything about it. And that's where we get walked right the hell over. And I'm not saying you need to be like, you need to change or else. It's not about that. It's about having a clear, defining moment where you say, if things don't change, I have no choice but to walk away. And that boundary might look different. At work, I don't say, I'm going to quit if you email me after 5 o'clock, but I say, thank you so much for reaching out. I actually don't respond to emails after this time, so I'll be happy to review that tomorrow. Period. It's easy. That's my boundary, and now I've put it on you to respect it. You also have to remember that when you don't share your boundaries with people you care about or that you interact with a lot, you're not giving them an opportunity to improve, and you're actually doing them and you a disservice. They might not even realize they're violating a boundary of yours, learn that they've hurt you, and completely adjust and improve your relationship for the better. And the hardest effing part about boundaries is you could tell someone till you're blue in the face, if you don't stop this, or if you keep doing this, I need to step away, or I'm going to need space, and they still do that shit. That's where things get really uncomfortable, because before, if you didn't set a boundary, you could just say that person is continuing to hurt you. But now, it's not just hurt, it's disrespect. When someone knows you have a boundary and they choose to cross that line over and over again, what they're really saying is, I don't give a shit if this hurts you. But because you've given them the boundary, you've given them the parameters they can work within, every time they choose to ignore that, it's like one more piece of data to back up why you need to step away from that relationship. And I know not every relationship is in the position where you can walk away. Sometimes we live with family. Sometimes we can't avoid those coworkers. But when we know we've done everything we can to set up those boundaries, we can almost emotionally tune out that person and understand they're just disrespectful by nature. You need to advocate for your needs in a way that is clear and has direct consequences. And if they can't respect that, you need to respect yourself enough to walk away when you can. I'm a big boundaries girl. It has fundamentally changed my life. It has made my circle of friends very small. I'm not gonna lie to you. It has also meant I've had to be very direct in my communication, even when it gives me a lot of anxiety or doesn't make me feel good. Because even though I'm a direct person, I don't like conflict. Like, it makes me feel sick to my stomach. But sometimes you need to have these difficult conversations to make sure you are protecting who you are as a person. And I refuse to let anyone in my life drain me of my peace. Okay, and my boundary also is that this video is done. I hope it was helpful. If you do have questions or things you want to talk through, let me know in the comments. I really hope this was helpful, or even just a little push to say you have permission to protect yourself. No matter what, like no matter what the circumstances. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I love you. I really do. And I'll talk to you next week.